Hey folks, I'm the Mysterious JG, and welcome back to Let's Play Romance of the Three Kingdoms 13. Funny thing happened to me when I finished recording this hero mode. I found out that my commentary tracks from this point forward did not take. So Zhu Huan thinks it might cost him his life, but he'll go out and do battle. I, on the other hand, might lose my own life at the frustration of my own recording inadequacies. Now, as it turns out, I could just re-record the whole thing, but it actually went fairly well and fairly interesting, so I'm going to try to retain what happened to me, quote, live. And I may re-record the final video, because it's mostly me talking through the ending and watching video stuff. So anyway, we've got some forces in Jiangling, and I guess past JG is worried about messages that there would be reinforcements attacking, and we're trying to determine if we can launch a full-scale attack with Lu Jun's force, which just successfully fought off an attack. We could add some siege weapons, and we could march north and try to cut off Liu Bei's retreat. I believe that is what we're going to do in this video. But I'm not sure, because I'm going to have to record post-commentary on a bunch of stuff. So, that makes it tricky. So, past JG is looking carefully at his gold to figure out what he has left to spend. Siege ladders are quite useful, but they're more expensive than battering rams, so I wanted to make sure I had at least one of each. And now with 90,000 troops, I've got enough troops, I believe, to conquer Jiangling, especially with the aid of those forces attacking to the north, and my big fear is that these cities out here won't be able to hold. Ding Feng, as we will discover, is doing a fine job at defending his city, crushing Guangjing, but to the southwest, the city of Yuzhang is not as well defended. We've got a smaller force and a less capable general trying to hold. So what I'm wondering now live as I play is, can Yuzhang hold long enough for Dingfeng to come to its rescue after he defeats the force attacking his own city? It looks like Changshan, I didn't see the name before we scrolled away, is okay. So now Zhu Huan is asking what we want to build in his city. Not that worried about domestics in this video, but when you have the opportunity to build a brewery, you always do so. And the strategic question we have to ask ourselves now is, am I moving too aggressively to attack Jiangling? Should I be taking my time to build up forces in the cities that Shu can still attack? And yeah, up there, Dingfeng's doing a number on those guys. Guangjing is already defeated, and now it looks like Guansuo might have taken over. The fact that the officer face changed means that the primary unit has already been defeated. So they are already gone. Yes, they're already gone. And I'm feeling strong. So Dingfeng's going to ride to the rescue of Yuzhang. And what I'm asking myself as we launch our big attack is, will this all be for naught and the scenario end if Dingfeng isn't in time to rescue that city and it's taken out from underneath us while we're trying to cut off Liu Bei's retreat? And that's why I'm saving a new slot here. Because the thing is, it wouldn't really matter, in my opinion, because if they take that city but we still cut off their army from getting back to Shu, we still have them. But the scenario rules are you can't lose any cities. This hero mode, rather. So my big concern, and I'm up here looking, is, yeah, Shangyang. Well, we got their Wei cities, but they won't be a problem. Unless, as I'm not clear at this point, Cao Pi's big invasion of Wu is part of the scenario. Turns out it won't be. So Zhu Huan is already attacking the city before we even get there. And Changshan is going to be fine. So again, my big concern right now is, yeah, Changshan's going to be fine. Big concern now is Yuzhang and whether Dingfeng will arrive in time. And as we look at how many forces we've got left, it'll take them some time to take the city even after they defeat the defenders. So it's looking pretty good over here. Unless the city Liu Bei holds launches further attacks. But that's not usually how the hero modes usually work in terms of plot events. So unless the plot dictates they attack again, we just need to hold. But I'm seeing here that Yan Jun, not the best general that the game has. More of a civil officer, I'm guessing. Dingfeng, very much a military officer, and he's already won one battle. If he can win two, we should be in good stead. But with Jiangling already under attack before Lu Jun gets here, the plot kicks in. Reporting! Enemy reinforcements marching for Jiangling. JG should have foreseen this. Yes, that's right. I knew you would move, Zhuge Liang. Who leads them? The flag is of Zhao, so it's Zhao Yun. Makes sense. Of course he would send his most trusted officer. Tell the soldiers in Jiangling to be cautious as they can, to defend the city to the death. Yes, sir. Good grief, so the dragon has moved then. Good grief, Charlie Brown, this will not be easy. Lu Xun Shu army marches to invade Jiangling with a host numbering 75,000. And we are in bad shape now, because when I had Zhu Huan march from the north, my big hope was that the reinforcements would not come for that city, because I wasn't 100% sure how this was going to work. But as you can see, Zhao Yun is now leading a force that we do not have anyone in place to defend against. So if we can take Jiangling fast enough, we can march back to defend that city. And that's our only chance now. And you see here, that's a scruffy 5 o'clock shadow, Zhao Yun. The Dragon of Changban, or whatever his name is. Jiangling doesn't have a specific officer portrait here, but it's just Emperor Liu Bei there. I could disperse these guys. They have not actually arrived in time. So that's what's actually happening. I'm sending them back to defend their own city. And Lu Xun, meanwhile, is going to attack by himself. And the question becomes, or, you know, what did I do? No, I didn't even bother. I knew that didn't work. I was trying to I couldn't remember if I actually attempted it or I just gave up flat out. But, so I had saved right before marching those guys out of Jiangling. And now, knowing that they would never be able to reform in time to defend their own city, having successfully defended Wuling, I'm going to go ahead and reform and give myself some siege weapons and try to take Jiangling on my own here. And past JG is, again, checking the gold. Can't afford any more siege weapons. Not allowed to add troops to the units in battle. I guess I tried to add one more battering ram. Can't quite afford it. So I was like, fuck it. Although you would think I had enough there, but somehow the math didn't work out. So I'm going to attack Jiangling with Lu Xun's army and keep those forces in Jiangling in order to defend it. And now the question becomes, can this guy with his 54,000 troops defend against the 75,000 troops that will attack, led by the Dragon of Changban, one of the greatest officers of Shu, Zhao Yun? Is he going to be able to hold his city, or at least hold his city long enough that Lu Xun's forces that took Jiangling will be able to march north and come to his aid? He's got the Grand Flame tactic. He's got some pretty decent officers up there to work with, but I won't be leading the battle. Unless Lu Xun can arrive in time to support, in which case I'll jump into the middle of the battle. And as you saw, the way the plot works, Zhao Yun's attack is triggered as soon as anyone attacks Jiangling. Doesn't wait for you to take Jiangling and then the plot happens. The minute someone engages with that city, they launch their counterattack. In the meantime, because I just loaded the game, we're going to have to go back to the point where Ding Feng marched out of his city to defend that other city. And I don't remember any of the city names over there. But now the big question is, can Jiangling hold long enough for Lu Xun to march to its rescue? Because Lu Xun has an army of 64,000 Shu troops in the city of Jiangling, standing between him and reinforcing Jiangling. And there's no other city that can possibly reinforce, because I'm blanking on its name now, and I'm at the mercy of wherever JG places the cursor. But that city, there it is, Xiangjia, where Liu Bei is actually stationed right now. Attacking that city and taking it automatically ends the scenario, and it ends the scenario with you failing if you haven't taken Jiangling first. Because the point of the scenario is, or not Jiangling, whichever city it is that we're about to attack, you have to take that city first and cut off Liu Bei's retreat. Because if you attack the city Liu Bei is in, while they still hold that city, I guess the assumption is the bulk of his army retreats successfully, and you lose your opportunity to inflict a truly devastating defeat on Shu. So yeah, you got to take Jiangling before you take Jiangjia. You can't get to Jiangyang without passing through one of those cities or the other. Attacking one successfully will end the campaign in defeat. Attacking the other successfully triggers the counterattack. So there's really no way to have Jiangyang aided in advance of this attack. Forwarding enemy reinforcements, blah blah blah, Dragon Changban. I wonder if he's still carrying Liu Chan around like he was years and years ago. With Steeple Slope Bridge. So now time is frozen and I may or may not notice. Oh, okay, I do know. It's just that I'm going to deploy these forces to defend their city. So that you waste a little bit of food, but it means that they're actually ready to go. Only 4 officers deploying. That's not a good sign. So I'll go ahead and pull this guy out as a weak subunit to support. Give him heavy bow, because this is the only city in Wu that we control in this scenario that doesn't have elite units, so of course it's the one that's going to come under attack. Max out his troop counts. That leaves us with 81 troops remaining. So at least I'm using all the troops I have now, which is important. I'll go ahead and add that guy as a support officer without really understanding all that well how support officers help you. Lu Kai, 64 attack, 95 defense. I don't know why he deploys before Chen Biao does. Maybe he has more useful military tactics. Though it may cost me my life. I'm glad that other attack didn't cost me my life and that we loaded the game. So now, the forces that are Zhangyang, who are outnumbered, at least they're out there ready to defend their city. So again, we just have to hope that they can hold long enough. Lu Jun is attacking with a slight numerical advantage, but he's got to get through that entire 70,000 troop force. And I think I had a brief moment of thinking, oh my god, it's going to let me take the city without a fight, but eventually, no. Okay, Zhu Ran's force is pursued. That's a good sign. It means that somebody else is being defeated by our guys. But in fact, after taunting us with the idea that we wouldn't have to fight, we do have to go into battle. We've got them outnumbered almost 2-1, but as we defeat their troops, reinforcements will appear. Do not lose the chance and attack and blah blah. So as we defeat their units, they will continue to deploy new units under the same officers until we either deplete their troop count entirely or take the main base. And although really I should be attempting tactics to win this battle speedily so I can ride to the defense of that city in the north, there's not that much you can do. You kind of just fight the battle and try to take out more of their troops than you lose of yours, and it is kind of what it is. So as you saw there a moment ago, one of their gates has already taken some damage, it looks like. Probably, I think that's meant to replicate or to encapsulate the fact that the city recently fell to the armies of Shu, so it's probably not in great repair. But in fact, only one of the gates is damaged. The other one, the one that has all the siege weapons, is in good shape. Because we have them outnumbered, I'm probably not super cautious in this fight, but I really just start attacking the camps outside of their city while I wait to see what the enemy inside is going to do. And you don't have that many. If there was a bridge off to the west on this river, you'd have a lot more choices about how you want to deploy. But as it is, you kind of have to get funneled through that area, which is a good place for them to meet you and try to cut you off. But they're coming out. They're not going to turtle. Nor should they. They're not so badly outnumbered that they should just hang back entirely, probably. Or maybe they should. Check how much time. We've got quite a bit of time left in this video. So that guy's got Iron Wall, which is a good tactic for somebody at the very front to have. I think my starting point here fighting them was, get the spears out in front of the archers. I got a lot of archers. And have Lu Jun attacking with his archers from behind. And as it becomes available, use fire attack, because Lu Jun has an incredibly damaging fire attack. The problem is, when your armies are all together like this, it's difficult to use the fire attack tactic and not have it hurt your own men as well. So I'm pausing. What do I think I'm doing? I guess I'm just letting time pass. I got Shamok with an archer unit up there, and got some catapults shooting at us. I think I'm finding out now, or I'm wondering now if all of my archers are even engaging. Because it's not you don't have a ton of room to maneuver here. So Iron Wall is probably your best tactic. And what I want to see is if this actually causes... It's hard to tell. It doesn't seem like it's causing me to do damage to more units. I was watching a video of someone else playing through one of these scenarios and trying to get more of a feel for how the tactics work, because really using the unit tactics is the key to actually having battles depending on more than just who's got the most troops. As we saw in that previous campaign where Guan Ping's tactic was like allowing him to crush the enemy in battle. So we're definitely killing them faster than they're killing us. We got the morale and the crapper for those guys up on the front line there. Now we've got a guy, that's Zhou Tai, who's actually a pretty big part of this overall campaign mode for us. He's ready to, he was ready to place a battering ram. Then I noticed the size of the units that were there and figured they would just come out and beat up the battering ram if I placed it, and then backed off. So I'm going to let my troops attack for a while on that gate, if I ever get around to it. I guess I'm deciding whether they should pull back and participate in that fight. I have to second guess what past JG is doing as he's dicking around with command inputs. But in fact, I'll have these guys come up and attack the gate with the assumption that that spear unit inside will engage us and not just let us beat on the gate. If we get to the point where the gate doesn't have defenders actively there, then I pull out the battering ram. So we ran out of time to defeat some specific unit or other. I very rarely worry about those little battle suggestions. That increases an ally's unit horse attack. I think I'm trying it here to see if it actually helps him, and I can't really tell if it does or not. Doesn't seem like it's really helping too much. But strength and defense is never a bad idea. And if I can defeat that Wu Ban, who is the guy they want me to defeat within the next 9 days, that'll give us a little bit of a morale edge. Allow us to take out the last camp that's outside of their base. At this point, the tension isn't, can JG take the city? The city is going to fall. The tension... Oh, we're doing it. Wu Ban and Li Yi. I don't know which one's which, actually. Li Yi's ours. Wu Ban is the guy that we have to defeat in the next 8 and 7 days to get some kind of bonus. So as usual, I kind of wonder why the computer likes to build up as much will as it does before each duel. But we actually used ours, and then he defended while Wu Ban used his knockout. We used our knockout. So that's good. Computer has a bad habit of building up more willpower than it has enough turns left in the duel to use. But from a slight war edge, we built up a fairly major duel victory. So that'll gut his morale. Should make them... Wu Ban has fallen, press the advantage. So we should be able to defeat Wu Ban fast enough, unless our little objective changed, which it seems to have done. It's no longer showing up down there as a thing that the game wants us to do. So now I try to place a battering ram, but if I recall correctly, this doesn't actually work. Because the allied unit there, I don't remember the commander, is in the way. So I spend a little time thinking that battering ram is placed, and eventually realized, oh, they never actually placed that battering ram. So yeah, Wu Ban is about to get... Okay, we now have a new quest to destroy Wu Ban, and this time it happens immediately as soon as the quest appears. So that took away their morale. Now we attack this other camp to get their morale further. And I start maneuvering ways for Lu Xun to use his siege ladder. But what I tend to find out is that we'll get stuck on that camp if we don't do it exactly the right way. He'll start trying to move past the camp, but will instead. Yeah, it's like, come on. Why do I need to pass on the far side of the camp? Meanwhile, this guy has moved out of his little camp, attacking us from behind, which doesn't make a huge difference, but we might as well actually focus in on him and not let him totally sneak up on us. Lu Xun is, in fact, moving around the camp, which is good. Camp won't be in his way for long, but now enemy units are trying to attack Lu Xun. And I really don't want him. I mean, he's got a troop count. He can fend for himself, but I don't want him a bunch of archers fighting with a bunch of cavalry without support, because he won't maintain that sizable troop count and dominant force if he starts fucking around with that kind of shit. So Lu Xun continues to try to withdraw, and then I realize it's just not going to happen. The guy is faster than me and he's chasing me, so we might as well deal with him. And suck up a few losses along the way. And he's also probably the most sizable force unit the enemy has left, so we might as well deal with him now that he's out in the open and not turtling. And they've got a little force. I don't know how they lost so badly to those guys, because they had equal numbers with us over in the west there where that gate we're attacking, but I wasn't paying too much attention to what happened to those guys. I guess our morale is higher and our generals are better because they got their butts kicked defending that gate. And I really want to use this fire technique Lu Xun has, but this is not a good time for it. Meanwhile, he's making a desperate and pointless attempt to attack our main camp, so I'll pull back the archers and just let the one cavalry unit just finish him off. Shamok continues to hang out on the walls, shooting at us. The game wants us to destroy the gate, which I have no intention of fighting because it's the one that has all the castle defenses on it. And as we defeat the officers defending the gate, I think I eventually... This is around the time where I realize, hey, we never actually deployed that frickin' battering ram. But once we take this guy out, there will be no reason not to, because all we've got really is a couple of units out in the field and Shamok on the walls. So you guys just get away from the castle defenses. And Lu Xun, but then the reinforcements start arriving now that we've defeated the main general. Once you beat the main general in the field, usually they'll reform their ranks. So now we've still got them outnumbered more than 2-1, but the remaining troops are ready to go. There shouldn't be more than a few paltry reinforcements after this. And what they did is they deployed a lot of numerically small units, so they've got flexibility to keep troops in different places, but none of those units are much of a threat. One of our officers is down to less than 2,000 troops, though, so need to be kind of careful with him. But this does somewhat thwart my plans to immediately deploy a battering ram in the west. Because there'll be some... Oh, man, look. It's a bunch of 4,000 troop archer units and then slightly larger cavalry and spear units. So these are pretty pathetic forces here. And even without using the battering ram, this gate's about to fall. They want us to attack the enemy formation, so they do want us to get rid of that one. I guess I just pull out the battering ram just to have it done, and have that those guys move out of the way so the battering ram can take position. Is this our end? Is this my butt? And I'm wondering if we'll ever get around to attacking that camp. I'm completely blanking on the fact that it'll be a 20-point morale hit to them if we take it, since it is, quote, their formation. So just to give them something to do, they're all going to beat up on this guy while Lu Xun sets up a siege ladder. And once that siege ladder's in place, the battle should pretty much be over. Although that gate's about to fall too, but now my main army is far enough away from that gate that I don't necessarily feel like pulling them all the way over there. So the gate's about to fall. I'm trying to give them something to do, or have them ready to burst through as soon as the gate falls. This game doesn't make nearly as big a deal about gate break as the big cinematics in 12 did. I don't believe it, he seems to say. So you guys need to move up towards where that... Well, the gate's broken now. Together now, charge. Their morale is all falling. I've got tons of strategy points left, and I'm just not using any of it because I keep thinking that I'll either keep thinking that I'll get an opportunity to use Lu Xun's fire attack, or I've just forgotten about it because the battle is going well without using any tactics. We came in with like 80,000 troops, so I've definitely lost troops here. Just not nearly as many as we've taken out. For a minute there, I thought I was actually going to use unmoving. And I decided to take out Shamok. Shamokin. And all these archers want to freaking encircle us now. So I just decided to pull him up here to make sure that nobody encircles the other spear unit. Not quite realizing for the moment that archer units generally aren't capable of doing encirclements. Or pincer attacks or whatever. And all my guys are now heading up there. And basically this will be the end because they've now completely stormed the wall. Take out those couple of siege weapons or cancel defense weapons, and Bob's your uncle. Isn't one of those officers who's now fighting for Wu somebody that, as Zhang Fei, we defeated in a city of Liu Zhang's and then brought over to our side? Ji or something? No, I think I'm mixing up two different characters. Never mind. I was going to say, if that guy had joined Shu when Zhang Fei attacked Liu Zhang, and now he's fighting for Sun Quan, he's really switched sides a lot. But, no, I think I'm mixing up two different characters. So now I finally feel like I have a chance to use flame con attacks. And at this point, I'm probably still thinking that this fire technique will do damage to their base, because if I can destroy that main base there without defeating the troops, I win. And I'm probably a little bit nervous that there might still be more guys who can reinforce, so I'm trying to defeat their troops. How did an enemy unit get out there? Anyway, if that's what I was thinking, I will turn out to be wrong. The fire technique will do no damage. It'll mess up their morale, something fierce, but it's not going to do anything to that actual hit points of that fort that they're hiding in. And as long as there's not a lot of text on screen and past JG going off into, you know, speeches and interludes that I don't know what I was talking about, it's not too bad. Doing post-commentary isn't too bad. Certainly I don't have to worry too much about the results of the battle now that I already know how this particular fight went fine. I don't want to take away all the tension and tell you everything in this this hero mode went beautifully, but this particular fight was not a problem. The question again, can we win fast enough to defend our northernmost city there against Zhao Yun's counterattack? As the fire attack continues to do troop damage, but not actually destroy the base that we need to take. So now this guy, he's gonna force one of my, he's gonna force Wuban, or no, Wuban rather, is gonna force that other unit to chase him around for a while, which is annoying. But if we don't get him, he could potentially go attack our main camp, and it's just possible that he would be able to defeat it fast enough that he would win the battle, which would really screw up our plans. We've got an enemy castle defense weapon attacking our guys inside the castle, which is annoying. And I'm noticing now that Li Yi is actually in trouble and should not be involved in combat. He's been involved in enough frontline combat that he needs to get a rest. Especially because I don't have reinforcement units that are going to come in when he's defeated. A new unit will take the field. Because we can only have 10 units active at a time, so occasionally when you've got more than one army on the march, it's good to let your weakened units get totally wiped out. But there is no instance for this army where that's going to be particularly good. It's just going to hurt morale. The game has finally decided that we're going to win this fight and change the music accordingly. Zhao Yun force has begun attacking Jiangling, and that is not good news. That means that the battle that we have to go to those guys' aids, and the fight has started. Had we won this battle before they even got to my city, I'd be a lot more confident that we could potentially arrive in time to stop them. But now, we just have to really hope that the defenders can hold. Because, literally, there's no chance that we will be there to attack, or to defend ourselves, unless the forces that are already there can put up some kind of defensive battles. I'm explaining this as though you didn't already know that. And yet I insist on defeating Shamok. It's hard to say if this will make a difference or not, but if we can't save that city from Zhao Yun, and we come anywhere close to being able to do it, and then fail, you'll really have to wonder if it would have potentially been better to ignore Shamok here. But I insist on getting off another fire attack first, which will mean that I won't want to bring my armies to bear until it's worn off. Does quite a bit of damage and all. So I'll have all these guys getting ready to attack their main camp. So that as soon as the flames are gone, we can all attack together. Their morale is absolutely crapped out. So we've won the battle. There's no longer any question of that. It's only a question of whether we've won the battle quickly enough to stop Zhao Yun. This guy here, Zhu Sheng, he's the one I thought for a minute had worked for Liu Zhang. I think I'm wrong about that, though. Can we defeat Wu Ban in time to get a little morale boost out of it? It looks like we probably can. You are, in fact, being overrun. Unmoving boosts other units? I didn't even notice. Taste my blade, bitches. Not get past me. And now, to my great frustration, another reinforcement unit does arrive, which is just going to slow things down that little bit more. And I realize we've got to pull Zhou Tai out of there, much to my dismay. That's very sad. Shen Dao and Shi Shi are defeated, and now it's only that reinforcement unit that's left. So we could be marching north to defend the city now if this one unit had not come to reinforce. I guess it's Feng Ji. Wu Ban had not quite been defeated. So now he's gone, and it's just Feng Ji's reinforcement unit that's left. We got him attacking that camp, because what the hell, why not? And now, for some reason, I decide I want to use the unmoving tactic, because it affects friendly units. So I'm going to risk Zhou Tai's unit. That's right, his dick could get cut off. I'm going to risk his unit to move in there and use this tactic and then back out. Oh, it increases attack as well, so it is a good one to use. And now I'm like, what are you doing? Get out! Get out! And did that possibly get it done like 1 day faster than it would have gone otherwise? It is hard to say. I cannot believe it. I don't believe it. We see opportunity and we win. That is all. And so the impetuous youth who had the gall to stand against Guan Yu has won a victory at the Battle of Jiangling. And now we have cut off Liu Bei's retreat, but only if we can prevent Zhao Yun's counterattack from... So now I'm in this point where I always wish that I had an opportunity to save the game before moving officers around. But as you can see, Jiangling is almost fallen. And I don't think I even noticed at this point, as I'm pondering whether or not to move officers. He's still at about a little under half of his troop count when he's sent out to attack, but the troops who are defending against him are completely gone. I don't think past JG had noticed this. So, in fact, it's not even a matter of can those troops hold, it's a matter of can that little stamina meter of the city hold long enough for Lu Xun's troops to arrive. That'll be the question for next time as I start. It's like Sun Shi, I don't know who that is, but she's a female, so that makes things vaguely interesting, a little variety. And I'm moving people to the city with the assumption that it will be, if we can hold off Zhao Yun, we have to know that Zhuge Liang is going to make an attempt to free Liu Bei. I'm assuming he's coming after that city, so I want to give it some decent officers, including Hamdingers, possibly. Or maybe not. I don't remember if I moved Lu Xun there or not. So maybe I thought Lu Xun would continue to operate out of his old city. But now I'm trying to pause and save, not knowing that a cinematic has come up. So at this point, we're calling it a video, and when we come back next time, we know that some kind of cinematic is happening. The question really is, what is happening next in the plot, and can we get north fast enough to save that other city from Zhao Yun? We'll find out next time on The Mysterious JG. And I want to thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.